I'm walking again and making a video. So hopefully you can hear me. Not trying to talk all loud, but badass butterfly wisdom. For today I'm talking about anger and the potential to transform it into creative energy. So, okay, I like to use myself as an example so that you can learn from my mistakes, from my heartache, and from my pain. I feel like my life is like a parable, like it's a story of how things go wrong. And, we explore how to make it right, how to make it better. So right now, I am in a city called Oradea, O-R-A-D-E-A. Beautiful Romanian city, really lovely. The thing is, I woke up this morning, I've been feeling this tremendous pressure building up inside me. And we're in a 2-year. 2 is the year of the moon. Well, I'm trying to figure out why my mother is coming into my consciousness so intensely right now. But the reason is because of the 2-year. This is a tremendous year to get some serious healing done around your issues with mom. So here I am trying to figure out why I cannot be more successful. Now look, I have a great level of success. I'm very happy. I'm living the life that I want to live, but I am so aware of things that are not right and where I'm blocked. For example, getting my books written more rapidly and with more ease. Relationship success, more significant financial success. My weight, right? So all these things, it's like, okay, I could live with what I have, but I know that there's another level of achievement that I'm not reaching, another level of really high potential. So for me, the work is doing the healing so that I can actually have more success in the material world that feels powerful for me and not just getting by with status quo. So in sitting with this year, 2018, it's a 2-year, I'm very aware that there are some healing things that need to be healed around the area of mom. So I'm saying yes to all of it. By the way, you can see Oradea in the background here. This is one of the centers, the town center. And here is the hotel in which I'm staying. It's called the Astoria Hotel. It's a really lovely hotel. Good service, lovely room, and the restaurant here is outstanding. Like really, really good food. Whatever they have going on with their chef is just awesome. He's amazing. And they have a new menu, and that is the theater. And it's just a really beautiful area, and I'm very blessed to be here. Right, so this issue with mother is coming up, and I know I'm not the only one who's going through this because it's a 2-year. 2 is the number of the moon, and moon represents mother and shadow and all this kind of thing. So I'm lying in bed this morning and I'm doing shadow work, and the message that I get is, actually I'm going to walk over to that center, and the message that I'm getting is that anger is that thing that's holding me back. So I'm asking Spirit, I said, why am I not experiencing more success? Like I said, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm feeling appreciative. Don't think that I'm ungrateful for what I have. I recognize that I have a really magnificent life. But actually, no, I'm not saying that my life is magnificent, because it's not. It's a beautiful life. No, it is magnificent. Okay, look, I have a magnificent life. I do. But it can be more magnificent. It can be like mind-blowing. I'm so aware that my life can be mind-blowing. That's what I'm talking about. So as I'm reading this, reading my cards and meditating and feeling into my feelings, there's one word that keeps coming up. Anger. I'm still sick, by the way. It's been 3 weeks and I'm still sick. So the word that keeps coming up is anger. And the idea is that there is so much anger in me that it is absolutely blocking me in every part of self-expression. Now, I'm already aware of this on a certain level, but I did not understand the importance of what I've been expressing. I didn't understand the depth of the anger that I'm carrying, like how big it is, how deep it is, how important it is. And I did not realize how it was extending itself into all aspects of my life. I didn't know that every single thing I did was tinged by suppressed anger that was not being expressed. So, the badass butterfly wisdom is this. Anger must be expressed, and it's got to be watched. Our society, that was not honking at me, by the way. I did not do anything wrong. That was somebody making a bad turn. So the point is, anger has got to be expressed. It will fuck with your life on so many levels that you cannot even begin to understand it until you tune in. So I would like to encourage you to do what you need to get that anger out of your system, to make space for it, to talk to it, to see why you're holding on to it, and ultimately to be present with it. I do not believe that you need to let go of your anger right away. Anger, like all emotions, needs to run its course, but it cannot run its course if it's suppressed and locked down in your body, in your physical body, in your emotional body. It can't be stuck in place and not affect you. So if you're harboring anger, and the way you know you're harboring anger is because you've got some level of hostility that's holding you back. Either it's passive aggressive behavior, withdrawing your energy, actual rage, like raging, bitterness, a feeling of emptiness, isolation, separation. All of these are keywords that will help you express or help you recognize that you might have an issue with anger. Now, my original, the main issue that came forth with kind of a really wild awakening this morning was around the idea of this thing that my mom used to do. And I allowed it. They say that anger is a result of being powerless, but I have to acknowledge that I allowed this. Hello. So I have to acknowledge that I allowed this to happen, but I was a kid, and I didn't know any better, and I didn't have anybody to tell me otherwise, but my mom used to, when she would get home from work, I would be at home in bed. I was a latchkey kid, so I'd be at home in bed or relaxing, chilling out at the end of the day. She would get home from work, and she would start telling me to do things, right? Like for her. Bring me this, bring me that. Do this, do that. And for example, like I'd have to make her dinner for her, and I'd have to bring it into her on a tray, and I had to have it set exactly right. All of these things would happen And I didn't mind doing things for her, but the thing is, I would bring her everything that she would need, and then I'd go settle down to do whatever I was doing, and then she would call me and ask me for one thing. It would take her forever to tell me what she wanted. Then I'd go get it, bring it to her, go back to my room, settle down, and then she would call me again. I would go in to see what she wanted. Again, she would take forever to tell me what she wanted. And then I'd go get it and then ask her if there's anything else she wanted. She would ignore me like I wasn't asking her if there was anything else she wanted. And then she would go back to watching TV, doing her thing. I would go back to my room, settle down, and then she would call me again. This happened every night of the week. On the weekends, it was the exact same thing. We'd be out doing our thing during the day, we'd get home, and at night she would call me. And the thing is, I felt like I was a slave. I couldn't not do it. Like, I'm not that kid that would just rebel and be like, fuck you, Mom. That wasn't my style. Couldn't do it. So it's not realistic to say, oh, you should have done this. Wasn't where I was. I could not go against my mom. So I remember that during those times, I would have so much rage that would build up in me, and I couldn't express it. I remember trying to say what I wanted to say and getting mocked so badly and feeling so small that I never did it. And so I kept this rage inside me. And I remember, oh my God, this morning I went into that. I remembered it. My stomach was doing the exact same thing. My stomach would burn like acid was burning in my stomach. And I could feel my whole system like vibrating up and down. It was horrifying. It was a horrifying feeling, and it was horrifying to re-experience it this morning. So all of this is to say that the way I even came across this memory was because I was sitting in bed and I was having this feeling of being really, really stuck. And I don't usually get out of bed. Like, I don't usually wake up in the morning and feel stuck. So when I do, I know to pay attention. Something's going on. It's time for something to be broken through. It's time for me to have a breakthrough. Because my normal way of getting up in the morning, it's when I feel the best. I just bounce out of bed and I feel amazing. But not this morning, not the last couple of weeks. It's been building up with this awakening that I'm having. So when I was sitting there in bed this morning, I had this really, I felt like there was a band wrapped around my diaphragm, like right at my solar plexus. And I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I felt more than anything that there was just this tightness, and I'm like, what is this tightness? So I sat in silence, and, I just experienced it, and I kept saying, I feel so angry. Why do I have this thing? I'm so angry. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is the anger. I feel angry. This is what anger feels like. And I'm like, damn. So I observed myself. I went about, the morning, like kind of just kicking it around the apartment, or around my hotel room, and again, the image, the word that kept coming to me is, I'm angry. And I'm like, I'm just brushing my teeth. Why am I angry? And then I sat down with my cards and I started praying, and it's like, girl, this is the root of your issue, is this suppressed anger. When I was reading my cards, the messages on the tarot card said, that you have a blockage that's stifling your creativity, it's stifling your abundance, it's stifling, your sexuality, it's everything. And I thought, okay, this anger is really powerful. I'm gonna, this is a big healing for me. I know that this is, part of my life's journey. I'm gonna embrace it. Then I said, I want to know why I have this anger, because my higher self came to earth knowing that this was going to be my fate. Why did it choose it? And I got a card that said, the card that I got said, that it is helping you to move into a space of powerful creativity, passion, and power. And I thought, wow, so this means that it's not just a question of, oh, how do I get over my anger? I'm just going to just stop being angry. I need to stop being angry. It's not about that. This is about actually taking that energy that is channeled into anger and redirecting it and doing something creative with it, using that energy to express some kind of passion, to create something of not of service. That's not necessarily the goal, but although that probably will be what happens. All right, so friend, that's all I'm going to talk about right now. This badass butterfly wisdom is supposed to be 3 minutes, and it's 16 minutes already. So, sorry. All right, I'm going to sign off. And, one last thing. So I sat with the anger because I couldn't make it go away, right? Because ego was like, I got to get rid of this anger. This sucks. But then I'm like, you know what? If it was meant to go away, it would go away. It's not going away. I need to be with it. So I sat in unconditional presence with my anger. And what happened was the anger did not go away, but there was room for life alongside the anger. There was room for joy alongside the anger. There was room for appreciation and love and activity. You know, I got dressed and I took care of myself and I felt really good, and I went out and I did not feel as hostile toward the world as I have been feeling these last couple of days. It's like by giving voice or by giving unconditional presence to the anger, I stopped carrying it. It stopped trying to get my attention, and it stopped infusing my life with itself. So I guess that's part of the solution, is to allow anger with peace, to be in anger, but to be at peace with it, to not be in resistance to it, and then to see what happens, to give yourself the space of a day to say simply, I'm angry. And look, I'm here in Romania with my dear friends, and they're so lovely. And I told myself that if the anger comes up, I'm going to actually just say to my friend, you know, I'm really angry. So, you know, I'm not going to make an excuse for myself, but I'm going to allow her to know the truth of what's going on with me. I'm not going to hide my anger. I'm not going to suppress it. I'm not going to act like I'm not angry. And sure enough, today I was in presence with it, but the anger wasn't like getting my attention, and it wasn't clouding my vision. I felt great today. And I think it was because I opened up a new space for authenticity, gave myself an outlet, you know, for self-creation, for authenticity within myself. I didn't feel like I needed to be a different way. And also, you know, that I felt safe enough with this friend. I was with Natalie today. I felt safe enough with her to be who I am, and without feeling like I was going to be judged or beat down or, you know, cast out or any of those things. So this was a really good day, and I'm going to dinner with Natalie and Alina tonight. And I don't know, I just feel really good. I feel blessed. There you go. All right. This badass butterfly is feeling pretty badass. All right, my badass butterfly brothers and sisters. I'll see you later. Bye for now.